Greg has the week off. He'll be back next week. I saw the term soft reset this week. I thought, well, that's interesting.
Okay, who used the term soft reset? Can I ask that? Was it someone in the media or was it someone within the franchise?
It wasn't within the franchise, but I think it was a media football guy. So it wasn't
a media football guy.
Well, you know, one of these raft of experts.
I get what you're saying.
Soft reset.
Do you see it as a soft reset? Like, we kind of discussed this last week, right? Because it's never, you brought up the idea of a rebuild. You're never going to rebuild with Josh Allen on your roster. It's impossible. You're going to do everything you can to succeed. I mean, I guess I get the idea of a kind of soft reset because you're losing Gabe Davis, it seems like, without question. You're losing a defensive end. You're going to have one impact defensive tackle on the roster, so you're going to have to fill these spaces. But look, the Bills have been here before, and I know I sound like I'm being an apologist, but I'm not. I'm looking at this from a football standpoint. If you are able to hit on a handful of draft picks, they are totally fine. Brandon Beane, the Bills general manager, has a track record of being able to fill holes specifically and get the Bills through to where they have to be. Is it harder this year? Yes. But if you look at what's surrounding the Bills, with the exception of New England, or excuse me, with the exception of Kansas City, God.
Are you finally admitting that the salary cap is real?
Oh, no. Salary cap is not real.
Okay,
salary cap is not real.
Although I did say last week a different voice. You need a different voice in the room. That being said, I mean, really, where is this new team coming from? Like, you lose Gabe Davis, you're fine. Let's be honest.
You're going to lose a defensive line.
But I mean, let's start with Gabe Davis, number one. If you lose Gabe Davis or you keep Gabe Davis, you know full well you're going to replace him in either free agency or a draft pick, like you said, going forward. Sure. That defensive line is a little bit different. Now, that defensive line is a beast. If you lose anybody on that line, how does that change that entire defense?
You're going to lose most of it, right?
But here's the thing. DaQuan Jones was a guy that no Bills had ever heard of. They brought him in as a low-price free agent. He's now indispensable. He's someone they could bring back again.
Played well, but how long?
You have a history, especially on the defensive line, of the Bills being able to use the scheme to put free agents in at mid to low cost or rookies and succeed. I'm more worried about wide receiver than I am defensive line. I'm more worried about keeping the offensive line healthy and where the money is there than I am the defensive line. Like, defensive line, I'm cool with. Gabe Davis was a fourth-round pick, and there were games where he looked like the best second receiver in the NFL, and there were games where he completely disappeared, right?
I think the national perception of Gabe Davis is higher than we have.
I agree with you, but because, look, his highlights showed up all over the place because when he played great, he played great. Do you know that he played, I believe, 5 games this season without a catch? 5 as the second receiver on one of the best offenses in the NFL without a catch. Or no, it was 4 because they won 3 of those games. What does that say? I don't know what the heck's
Here's
going
your
on.
formula.
Weird.
You know, people will tell you, says, well, that's the secret of the Buffalo Bills. Just don't throw to Gabe Davis.
Well, yeah.
and next year it's going to be easy.
The concern, though, is are you running a patch job? Are you just basically taking this guy out, putting him in, and then how are you going to address all the defensive concerns you might have?
Yeah, but you're describing every roster in the NFL. Every roster in the NFL is a patch job. What would you describe what the Kansas City Chiefs did in the last year? The whole season, the talk was...
Oh, 2-time Super Bowl winning champions does a patch job and wins a third.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying, right? The receivers were what were going to doom this team. They were going to have issues on defense. So how are they going to plug these players in? They did.
Yeah, but Pat, you're not trying to do it to stay at the same level. You're trying to do it to get better.
I understand. But look, all I'm saying is, look at what people were saying and where the Chiefs were in the middle of the season. There were questions after they lost to the Raiders if they were going to even win their division.
True.
So, look, again, I think we're too close to this because we talk about the Bills all the time. We see Bills news 24/7, and when things get dark, we don't have the perspective of another team. Every NFL franchise, with the exception of ones that are building from rock bottom, are running a patchwork every offseason. And until Brandon Beane shows me that he's not up for that job, I'm going to trust that he's able to do it.
How much does the uniform lose value if he leaves?
For normal people, it's worth nothing. For me, I love my Gone Bills jerseys, and I hold them forever, but you know that.
It's going to be in his Hall of Fame. You know that.
Oh, a very extensive Hall of Fame.